Well, boys, welcome to another edition of Train at Home. I just want to begin by saying, wow, like just wow. I can't believe how many of you are participating still with our online training. I'm very proud of you. You guys are working hard. I hope that you're finding these videos beneficial, and I hope that you're seeing some improvement in your strength and just your overall skill development, improvements in your skill development so far. Today, so we've been talking about stride shooting. Today, I want to change things up just a little bit and start and talk about what a growth mindset is. Over the next week or so, anyway, we'll talk about a growth mindset. And today, I want to specifically talk to you about goal setting. Um, I have here an acronym, SMART goals, which you may be familiar with. Your teachers at school might have talked to you about setting SMART goals. So if this is a review, it's always good to have that refresher. But when we goal set, this is a great acronym to use to make sure that we're setting goals properly. So SMART goals stands for, the S stands for specific, which means what is it that you actually want to be able to do. The M stands for measurable. Is your goal measurable? How will you actually know when you've reached your goal? Achievable means, is it in your power to accomplish it? And what I mean by that really is the goal something that you actually want to do? I want you to think about where you invest most of your time, because where your time gets invested is an indicator of where the heart really lies. What I mean by that is, it's easy to say I want to be a better hockey player, but if I spend most of my time playing video games, then you're kind of lying to yourself. You might think that you want to be a better hockey player, but really your heart is saying that it doesn't really care. Um, or maybe you like to, I know, cell phones now are the big thing, Snapchat and social media, right? Have you ever sat down to look to see how much time you've put into things like technology? I think it's kind of neat to, if you have those phones, you can track how many hours you spend on your phone and stuff. And that just might not mean that you don't want to be a better hockey player or whatever your goal is. It just means you've probably picked up and developed bad habits, right? I like cell phones and technology, video games. Those are drugs, man. I call TV candy for the brain. What happens if you eat candy all the time, right? You're gonna get fat, right? Well, if you watch TV, play video games, you're on technology all the time, your brain's gonna get fat, right? The R stands for realistic. Is it something that you can actually do? And T stands for timely, which means actually put a date, um, and realistic dates that you want to be able to accomplish the goal. So let's dig in a little bit here. And what I want to focus on really today is that the S part, being specific, because that's kids your age, is this is the biggest problem I see. So let's kind of work through um, what I think a typical hockey player might say. So your SMART goal, or your S, your specific goal, what do you want to do? Might be, want to make the NHL. Okay. And what I don't like about that is that's way too big. Okay. We have to break this goal down into smaller pieces. Okay. Now, if you don't already, I want to really encourage you to get some sort of goal journal, whether that be, like a booklet that you can use, or even if you could set something up on the computer or something, that would be really cool. Maybe using a Google Doc if your school is using Google as a learning platform. Everybody has access to Google Docs. You can create your own document where you can track things like your workouts and things like your goals, because our goals are going to probably be changing over time. Okay, and it's really neat to have these things written down so you can go back, you can see those improvements, you can use them as encouragement for yourself and as a motivation tool. So this is, I just kind of want to work through how I would and how I'd recommend you to be going about creating your SMART goals. Okay, so if I start with making the NHL, let's try to break that down a little bit, right? Before making the NHL, maybe you could break it down into, oh, I want to make the AHL, or I want to make, become a member of some pro, maybe European league or something. But before you get to there, you have to, make it to the OHL, or a junior team, or maybe an NCAA school in the States. Okay. But if you really think about it, for players on our team, we're playing double A. You really, realistically, you probably have to make that triple A team first. Okay. So if you start with on your paper or on the computer, I like to use boxes. I'm a visual guy, I'm a kinesthetic guy. That's why I kind of like using journals, like a pen and paper, better, because you can write things down. I find that's it's a better way to learn, because you're seeing what you're writing, right? Your hands moving, right? So I would start maybe with that NHL box, but when I really break it down, I have to make the AAA team first. Okay. And, that great goal. Okay. I'd say that at school, you probably talk about, your level ones, twos, threes, and fours. If you put down, an NHL, I kind of call that a level two goal. Making the AAA team might be, almost consider that like, maybe a 3+ goal, because there are probably aspects to your game that we can break down even further. Like, what do you need to do to actually make the AAA team? Okay, well, let's think about what do AAA players, what skills, what tools do they have in their belt? What can they do really well? Well, you have to be a really good skater to play the AAA team. Okay, so I started with NHL. I have a box underneath that says AAA team. Now I have a box underneath that says skating. Okay, but that's not the only part of being a good AAA player, right? You have to be a good shooter. Right? You have to have hockey IQ. Okay? And I'm sure that we could have more branches coming off of that. All right. You have to have a good attitude. You have to be motivated. So like all sorts of branches. And then coming off of skating, shooting, and hockey IQ, we can break it down even further, right? To skating, you have to be fast. You need to work on your speed. You have to have strong acceleration. You have to be a good transition skater, right? So we break things down until we find, the very specific things that we need to work on. That's what I'd like you to do this week. Okay. I'd like you to do some goal setting, and I'd like you to break down that specific goal, right, into something that you think you could accomplish, in maybe a month and a half or so, right? Tryouts for next year's team typically would happen in the spring. Right now, it's looking like maybe in the fall. So you've kind of got a little bit more training time. Okay. So I want you to work on um, some goals using this method. Okay. See if you can break this down. And I want you to not only track this in your own journal, but I want you to let me know in our Train at Home forum that we have on the website. Okay. Um, just things that come off the top of my head for shooting, right? Maybe you need to work on your backhand shot. Maybe it's that stride shot, or your slap shot, or your wrist shot. Okay. If it's your wrist shot, can you break it down even further? Do you have to work on loading that puck off of a pass? Do you have to improve on the quick release? Maybe it's your accuracy, okay? Your hockey IQ. Do you know where you should be on the ice, right? Think about those discussions that you've had with your coaches in the short time that we had playing against the white team. Okay, how was your positional play? Okay, so I want you to come up with 3 or 4 really good SMART goals. SMART goals are that are specific, they're measurable. How will you know when you've accomplished that? Okay. Achievable. Is it something you really want to do? Okay, not just something you think you want to do. Look at where you invest your time. Okay, how have you been doing with these workouts? All right, are you investing the time in hockey? Okay, and I'm not saying that it's wrong if you're not. It just means maybe you need to focus on something else in life. Okay, is it realistic? Is it something you can actually do? And let's set some dates. Okay, so today, form you should see some info on how to communicate what your SMART goals are for me. All right, that's all for our little soapbox speech for today. Let's get into today's workout and the drills. Okay, see you in a sec.
All right, boys, here's the workout for this week. We've got a warm-up, mine's on in action, like we always do. Our warm-up this time is going to be 20-minute run. So last week I asked you to go for a 15-minute run. This time I want 20 minutes. I was pretty impressed with a bunch of you guys. What I actually was impressed was seeing the growth in such just a short time. Right? Some of you started off at 12 minutes at the start of the week, and by the end of the week you were able to go to 17. Okay, so here's what I want you to do for your run. It's 20 minutes, no matter what. I want you to run. Remember to take your stopwatch or your phone or whatever it is to keep time. If you don't have a watch, put it on your list. Okay, your athletes need a watch so they can keep track. Okay, I want you to go for your run. And as soon as you have to start walking, you look at the time, and I want you to remember what that time is, but then you stop your clock. And I don't want you to start the clock again until you're ready to run again. Okay? Now, last week, it almost looked like fall, okay? There wasn't hardly any snow, but now we got tons of snow. And I want you to think about that A part, that achievable. Where's your heart at? Okay, if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not running outside, it's too cold, well then, this hockey stuff shouldn't be your goal, because that's not where your heart is. All right, so I want you to get outside. I want you going for those runs. 20 minutes accumulated time. So it might take you, if you have to do lots of walking, it might take you more than 20 minutes to get that task done. Okay, but that's your warm-up. Okay, trying to hit that 20-minute. We'll see if we can bump that up each time. Mine's on was goal setting. We just covered that. And then our action for today, I've got a workout and shooting for your workout. I really like the 30-second rep, 30-second rest stuff we've been doing. I like thinking about time over reps, because if you think about a game, when you're on the ice, your shift should be about 30 seconds long. So I want you going really hard for 30 seconds and then get that rest. Really hard for 30 seconds. So don't worry too much about how many reps you're getting. Okay? I want you to so I've got 4 exercises for you. I want you to go through it, each exercise, and do it 3 times through, with a 1-minute break between each set. All right? Materials that you'll need. Number 1, you'll need that basketball or soccer ball that we used last time. Exercise number 1 is the explosive push-ups. So some of you told me that you were getting really good, how your balance improved and how you were getting more explosive. I left my ball over there, so pretend this is my ball. Okay, so some of you said you started on your knees and you weren't, you were getting closer to being able to get up off of your knees. So that's your goal. I like that. That's a hard exercise. Keep working on it. So 30 seconds. You remember this one, right? Back and forth for 30 seconds, 30-second break. The next 3 exercises, they need sliders. Now, these right here are sliders that we purchased. What they do is they slide on the ground. Now, if you have a hardwood floor or tiled floor, you might not actually need sliders. A good pair of, a pair of socks, maybe wool socks might slide enough for you. But on carpet, and even if you do have hardwood, it's nice to have these sliders. Now, you don't need to buy anything like that. These are what I used to use before I bought these ones, okay? This is just some Bristol board. I took a plate from the cupboard, traced the plate out, and cut out my slider. Construction paper. If you've had pizza, get a pizza box, or you may be shopping lots on Amazon or something. Go to the recycling bin, get some cardboard, trace them out. You've got sliders. And the last thing I have here, I've got 5 of these cones. You don't need cones. You can just make yourself 5 sliders. Okay? So exercise number 1. Those explosive push-ups that we did last week, 30 seconds on, 30-second break. Then we're going to switch over to mountain climbers. Here's how you do your mountain climbers. You need 2 sliders. You're going to put your feet on the sliders. You're going to get yourself into a push-up position, and you're just going to bring one leg up and switch back and forth. Okay, and I want you going really fast with that, trying to keep a nice straight back. Okay? Don't let your head drop down. Okay, try to keep your head in a neutral position. You're doing that for 30 seconds. Then you got your 30-second break. After that, I want you to do something that's called slide out push-ups. So this is going to be killer, especially after doing those explosive push-ups. Okay, you're going to be tired from that. You're going to get yourself on your hands and knees. Okay, I'll call this kind of the beginner level. So hands and knees, and you're going to slide out with the sliders, keeping your tummy flexed, okay? And you're sliding with control until you reach the ground. Then you're going to slide your arms around for a push-up. You push yourself back up. Doing that for 30 seconds. Now that's your beginner level. If you're able to, instead of staying on your knees, you can get yourself up into a push-up position. So get just on your hands and your toes. And slide. Okay, and then push yourself back up. That's pretty tough to do, okay? Because I want you to have control. I don't want you to fall onto the ground. I want you to control it the whole way out, okay? So 30 seconds on for that. 30-second break. And then our last one is strider lunges. So this is where you need you don't need cones. If you just cut out 5 like circles on a cardboard box, that'll work really well. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna set these cones up kind of like a pentagon. Okay, so your foot, I want them to go all the way around your foot. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to keep your balance here. Okay? So I'm going to put my right foot right now is on the ground. I'm going to try and keep my left foot off the ground the whole time. I want to get my body low, like I'm in that stride, that skater stride stance. And I'm going to push this pylon as far as I can. Okay? And then without touching my foot on the ground, I'm going to push this one out to the side in front. This one straight out front. This one out there to the side. And this one way back as far as I can. Then, without this foot touching the ground, okay, I want to just do some lunges, like some strides. Okay, I want to do 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to try and get all those cones. Again, I'm trying to keep my balance here. Okay, without this foot touching the ground, I'm going to try and bring them all back again. Oh. Let's bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. And bring it back. Okay? And my leg here, my right leg, is just on fire right now. Okay? So that one, you don't need to do 30 seconds. You just need to do all 5 push out, 5 strides, and then bring them back in. Now, if you have really good balance, if you've been doing the exercises for the past couple weeks and your balance is really good, once you get these guys all pushed out, if you want to challenge yourself, instead of doing these strides, okay, I could pop up for all 5 and see if I can keep my position. If I don't jump and land in the same spot, I might end up way over here and I might not be able to reach that one anymore. So that's how you can add a challenge. Okay, so you do that, and then you do the same thing with the other leg. Then you get a 1-minute break. A 1-minute break, and you do all 4 exercises again. Okay, I want you going through that 3 times. When you're done the workout, your shooting drill. Outside right now, where it's kind of snowy, so I don't know where you've been doing your shots. I probably should have to shovel out there. I think some of you guys, I've been hearing, have been out on the pond, which is awesome. So you can do this shooting drill on the pond, okay, if you want. Okay, so what we did last time, okay, I got Rose's stick here again, so it's a righty and I'm a lefty. But what we were doing last time was we were pulling this in and we were getting into that, popping into that stance, okay? What I'd like you to work on this time is with the puck out, I want you to lift up your leg, your outside leg like you're gonna shoot, then I want you to switch to the stride shot. Okay? So I want you to fake, like do a little pump, and then stride shot. Okay? So puck's out to the side, you're going to lift your outside leg, you're gonna pump like you're taking a shot, then you're gonna switch to the stride shot. Okay? Do that for 15 minutes, lining up 5 pucks. Remember, it's not how fast you can shoot 5 pucks. It's how fast you can shoot 1 puck 5 times. Okay? Work hard, keep it up. Don't forget to put your stuff into the form. We'll see you next week.